Here
Hey
we are.
guys, how you doing, Uwe?
Good. Well, you have a new shirt again, Darth Vader shirt or what?
Yeah, no, I went to the Disney outlet and they had this like Star Wars shirt on sale. Like it's my attempt at like being in between both worlds, like both corny Disney cheesy stuff and like somewhat adult, you know what I mean? Somewhat
Ah, it's a nice
sophisticated.
business shirt look. So why is it circled? I'm no Yeti.
A Jedi,
Yeah,
Jedi.
yeah, why is it? Or was you did it or that was
No, no, no. This is how it's designed. I don't know. I guess that Disney, for some reason, thinks that that line is important. I don't know. I think Star Wars in general right now is pretty fucking boring. Once upon a time, I was a big fan when I was younger,
yeah.
but like George Lucas sold it to Disney. They threw his treatments away. They did whatever the fuck they wanted to do. And I don't know if you've seen those films, but they kind of suck.
Yeah.
And just like everything else that's being produced for streaming, it feels like all of the Star Wars TV shows don't feel legitimate. Like I'm still waiting for an event picture to really bring that back. And until then, you know what I mean? All of my thing is delegated into this. But anyway,
But
back
right
into
right now,
real life.
yeah, but right now, Wicked and Moana, whatever, they are huge hits and
Mhm.
saving a lot of theater chains almost out of bankruptcy, right? So and that's the situation. I think it helps. Last year they had Barbie and Oppenheimer in summer. This year it looks like these two movies will save the theatrical distribution
Oh
idea.
yeah, no, I could tell when I went to see Wicked, based on the energy in the theater, engaging the way that the merchandise is selling. I it's like the movie of the holiday season, and people were really excited. My wife loves it, and you know what? I actually liked it too. Like I don't like musicals. I gave it a really good review here on the Uwe Boll Podcast Network. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And that's pretty unheard of. I mean, what this movie does is it puts Wizard of Oz back on the map, up there with franchises like Harry Potter or whatever else is popular. Like now, Wizard of Oz is back. And if these movies do well, I wouldn't be surprised if they make more and more and more.
But it looks like it is only the first part, right? So there is a second part already filmed, or
Yeah, but well, like what it is it's a book based on the Wizard of Oz. It's based on a book that's inspired by the original Wizard of Oz books, but there's more story there. Like right now, they're in part one of Wicked. There'll be a part two of Wicked, but there's a bigger story. Like they couldn't they couldn't go back to the original Return to Oz and have that be canon. They would need to like remake the original Wizard of Oz to have it connect to this film more. You would have to see it to really understand, but I could see them doing that. I could see them making a prequel. I could see them making a sequel if Wicked does well enough.
and it's doing well enough. I mean, that's crystal clear right now. So I had also an interview. I think I sent it over to you with a guy who had a big trauma toxic Avenger poster behind him, and he is doing a documentary or a thing. Kevin Walters, and I think he worked also at Trauma. Maybe I don't know, but he's doing a homage to Ed Wood, and for this he interviewed me, and then we talked about also not only Toxic Avenger but all about movies in general. And he gave me the link so we can post it on our overball universe also, and I think I sent it to you on a Google email for
Yeah, no,
download.
I got that one too, but it's locked. I need the password to access it. So if you want to get him to give me permission,
Okay, or wait a second here. If I can download it, let's see. Because then I download it and can send it to you.
yeah.
So let's see if it.
No, yeah, I think that he is friends with somebody that I know who is a friend of mine at Troma, who worked on Poultrygeist. Um, I worked on Citizen Toxie, and I have friends who worked on some other films at Troma. And, you know, they're all good people, so I wish them all well. And I will post it. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I'm downloading it and then I send it to you later. Uh, yeah, it's maybe directly connected to my email address.
Yeah, no, you would have to download it probably and send it to me because either that or he would have to give me permission for me to access it. But
Yeah, it's in the works so right now, and
cool.
uh, yeah, and I mean we uh, cannot reach Paramount Plus or Showtime for whatever reason. All my contacts in LA, including Quiver, who sold it to them, cannot really move it forward. I mean, that first shift is 4 weeks now in the top 10 at Paramount Plus and Showtime against huge competition, a little movie. And there are two things what I was hoping to achieve with now, based on the success, is A, they take over the rest of the world for this film, but of course, B, they finance part two and part three, or they give us money for a 10-part miniseries. What we, of course, can shoot for a fraction of anything they produce. And it's kind of a shitty situation, right? Because I'm very happy that First Shift is performing. But I'm very unhappy that even with performing, it doesn't move the needle. You know, you think like, so there is a Paramount Plus show with Michael Fassbender. They brought it up this week. It came out like, it has only 2 episodes shown. And today was in the Hollywood Reporter, based on the success of the 2 parts playing, they gave the green lit, like they ordered the second season. What means based on these two things, working for 2 weeks only, they released like 80, 90 million bucks for a full season of a big show with big stars. And you think like, okay, so now we have a little movie for 4 weeks already performing, and we're not even getting 2 million bucks to make a second part. I mean, what the fuck? You know, that's the thing what drives me so insane. That even if it works something, I don't get the credit for it. And that's the absurd thing. I remember when I did House of the Dead, and it did 28 million in DVD revenues, and Lionsgate completely refused to give me $1 for part two at that point. That is why the House of the Dead part two later was so shitty and had nothing to do with it anymore. Because, of course, they could have a more theatrical, maybe directly connected to the first part, House of the Dead. But after $28 million home video revenues and 11 million box office, they gave me nothing. You know, and you think like that doesn't fit together with clever producing or clever handling a stock holding company. You know, it's like the thing is this, it doesn't bring me anything if I call Lionsgate and say they're a bunch of idiots, you know, or now with Paramount Plus or whatever. It will not bring me more success. It will bring me, oh no, but this guy we don't work at all anymore, right? But overall, I think if some stockholders of these companies would watch my shows or our shows when we talk, and would basically accept at one point like kind of a briefing about the real situation in the film industry, I think there is so much waste and so much bullshit money spent for so much crap that they all could be in profit. All that companies and major companies who are so deep in shit and reporting billions and billions of losses, including Lionsgate, who is reporting basically hundreds of millions of losses every fucking quarter they report. And you think, okay, but who pays all of this? Like, I mean, it's like the government printing money, right? So it's like where you feel like, why they never do the obvious to make money? Why they give Eli Ross 110 million to do Borderland and spend 40 million to release it to make $8 million box office? I mean,
Do you
that's
know what I think it might be? I think that with Borderlands, for example, I'll just use that since you brought that up. They thought that was going to be a huge hit. They thought that was going to be a big hit, and it seems like even if you make a profit, if the profit is just like a little bit of profit, they're like, oh, that's not good enough. Even if it's a profit, They want big bucks. They want huge bucks. And if they don't get that, like it's a bigger gamble. Because look at Borderlands. Like they thought they were going to make this huge money. They invested huge money and they took a huge amount of loss.
Yes.
Whereas with somebody like you would bring a smaller profit. They would be like, that's not enough. They would rather gamble larger amounts for larger pay. Do you know what I mean? It's
No, it
almost
makes
as
sense.
if
I mean, it makes not sense for me because if I would build it my Bolu and event film like this, I would make 5 movies and would disappear forever, being completely bankrupt. But but I agree. They think the stock price will only really recover if we have a Wicked or we have another Hunger Games or another, Twilight, the big hits Lionsgate basically had, right? So I mean, they had some big hit franchises, but they are now a long time gone, and the only thing they have left is Saw, right? Do they have Saw
yeah,
or
they have Saw on there. They still have Hunger Games. They're going to make another Hunger Games prequel. They're going to make Hunger Games prequels based on each film will be a different Hunger Games character. They already did Donald Sutherland's character, and they're going to do another one based on the black chick. I forgot, but
but
they're not huge
it will
hits.
not
Like,
make this money anymore like the real Hunger Games
yeah, it won't. It
with
won't.
Jennifer Lawrence and everything.
Yeah.
So this times where it makes $300 million box office, they're I think long gone, right? And so that's the thing. It's like it's crazy.
And even Saw isn't a huge seller anymore. The last one just did okay. It was all right. It wasn't a bad movie, but
Yeah, I mean it's like this endless Halloween and whatever. But Halloween always works at Halloween, and Saw is kind of an old horse written like
yeah, Lionsgate used to be the place where all the horror movies came out before Blumhouse. Then they wanted to be up there with the big Hollywood studios. They took
yeah
out some huge loan, and that's when they started to like kind of diss people like you, and they dumped a lot of stuff. You're not the only filmmaker they fucked. Like movies like Repo the Genetic Opera or Midnight Meat Train with Bradley Cooper before he got famous. They dumped those because they said, oh, this is all that old horror shit. And the new studio head was like, we don't want to be known as this niche horror thing. So like they dumped it all like pretty much like in just a couple theaters. And the
yeah.
movies didn't make a lot of money, didn't have much cultural impact. And I think that you are the exception because House of the Dead was, uh, by all means, in normal definitions, that movie would be a throwaway. But it's been a long time, and it's got more of a cult than any other movie around that time. Like remember the movies that came out around that time? 13 Ghosts and like House on Haunted Hill. Nobody gives a fuck about that stuff. But people are still watching House of the Dead today, and I think that's longevity. That
Even
Lionsgate kind of undermined.
even Cabin Fever didn't hold up like this, and Cabin Fever was exactly at the same time. That film made Eli Ross, brought him on the map,
Yeah, I
and
remember that movie.
yeah, and I think it did 13 or $14 million box office. So it was like, oh, it's more successful as House of the Dead with $11 million box office than Eli Ross was because he was Quentin Tarantino helped him and all that stuff. So he had kind of a Hollywood career involving. He played as an actor in Inglourious Bastards. So he had the whole time this kind of support of the machine, right?
He's another guy who worked at Troma, by the way.
Eli Ross,
Yeah,
I can imagine.
a lot of Troma gave a lot of people their start. They gave them a lot of opportunity to learn. Like people like me, people like him, a lot of people coming out of college, a lot of people who had never worked on a film set before. They give you they give you like they throw you in and give you real world experience so you fuck up in real time. And I'm sure that was beneficial for him because he got a head start.
But that's always what I said too, right? And I think Lloyd Kaufman did it the right way. You learn only things if you have to do it. So it's like, it's not like talking about where a nice lighting is at Ingmar Bergman films. It's only about here are lights, and now the DP tells you where to put it, and then you see the impact on the camera and what you do, right? So I think that what you learn there. So
Well, trauma was crazier than that because like we didn't know what we were doing, and then we were doing 6 jobs at once. They were like, okay, you're the script supervisor,
yeah.
you're the still cameraman, and it's like, yeah, you do
It's
the
like
script
me. It's like me when in
revisions.
New York, 22 people left the set and on first shift, right? And then I was my own
Yeah.
supervisor and AD, like the good old times. So, but we don't have too much time today, so let's move to the pardon of Hunter Biden. Now I have you, right? So
Oh God.
that
Oh
was so
boy.
bad. Yeah.
You know, it's hypocritical of him to do it, but I see why he did it. And I say it's admirable because I would do that for my son. Yeah, Hunter fucked up. He was a fuck up. The Republicans relish this. I do not think he is currently a fuck up. I think he's reformed. He has a wife, he has a kid, and they're out for blood. They're like, it's instead of just enjoying their win and moving on like mature adults, they want to like get this revenge tour. They want to put people like Nancy Pelosi and Hunter Biden in the tribunals, which is like a court with no jury.
Yeah, but don't
And
bash
like,
on the Republicans. He said before he's not pardoning him. He will accept the court, right? And then he pardoned him back to 2011. All crimes maybe happened or not since 2011. That shows there's a longer backstory to it, what we all don't really know, are forgiven. So
well, look, they're going to change the legal system. What they want to do is they want to go in and basically change the actual fabric of the law, sending people. Okay, so for example, Hunter Biden is just a figurehead of the Democratic Party because he is Joe Biden's son. If he wasn't Joe Biden's son, I don't think they would give two fucks about him because I don't think he's actually done anything. I think he's meant to represent, like, they want to hurt Joe Biden. That's what it is. And,
Yeah, no,
you
no,
know,
that's 100%. That's a hundred
yeah,
percent that he would never be in the press for what the crimes he did or not did. That would be like, let's say it's like a completely unknown person who would did what Hunter Biden did. Nobody would give a shit, right? So, but because it's Hunter Biden, similar to the Hillary Clinton laptops or whatever, then it's a big deal. But it doesn't look good when you say you accept the course, you will not pardon him, and he said it in various interviews.
I think people are afraid
Then at
because
the end you
Trump
feel
is.
like, fuck, I still do it. He's my son, blah, blah, blah. That you would do that for your son. I,
But Trump is saying so much shit. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what's coming. And if he really is going to have this revenge tour, he wants to protect his son. I heard Biden is thinking about giving preemptive pardons to people like Adam Schiff, who says, "Don't give it to me because I haven't committed a crime." People like Adam Schiff say it looks bad because I haven't committed a crime. I'm a public servant. Yada yada, bing bong. But Biden is afraid that Trump is literally gonna come after these people, and they're gonna be put in a court out of the public view and locked up. It'll be like Soviet fucking Russia. So he wants to protect these people. It's bullshit.
yeah,
This is
but
what I mean by
it's
it's
all talk.
anti-democratic.
Oh, sorry, Gary. That's all talk right now. In like everybody's scared what he will do, but before he's not doing it, I think it's just
That's
talk.
why he wants to give a preemptive pardon, because then it'll be too late. Do you know what I mean? That is a part of, so he did his son
Why you
first.
should give a preemptive pardon to Adam Schiff? Adam
There's
Schiff.
more than just Schiff. You should look it up. It's more than just Schiff. He's afraid that Trump is going to go after all the people that he perceives persecuted him, came after him wrongfully, yada, yada. Like, basically, the people who make up the stronghold of the Democratic Party are going to be targeted potentially. He's made it awfully clear on social media.
Yeah,
And
but
Trump,
sometimes
at time, he says a lot of shit, but he doesn't mince words when he's angry.
but the question is, how can I be shadow banned? You saw that,
Oh.
right? That I'm
Somebody actually told me, they said that you should subscribe to X Premium, and that will help prevent you from possibly being shadow banned? Because
Because
that could.
I'm shadow banned right now. So if I sign premium, you think the shadow banning goes away? Then it would be just a blackmailing from Elon Musk that you pay more money.
Did
So
you ever get premium in the past? Have
no.
you gotten it before? No? Well, get it, because that could be why I am not banned, because my account and Uwe Boll RAW USA have both had premium, and neither one is shadow banned. So it could be because it's bullshit, but it could be because of money. Or it could be what I also thought, that like if you were banned since a long time ago, maybe when you retweeted the Taliban beheading videos, somebody who worked at Twitter before Musk took over saw
Yeah.
that, pressed a button that said "Bop, ban" or shadow ban. Because dude, when you tweet and you put Gary Otto 0, you're trying to tag me, I don't see it. Like, it doesn't pop up in my feed, nothing. That's fucked up.
So the question is then, I personally, from what I tweeted the last 2 years, I cannot be shadow banned, especially for the platform which says freedom of speech, blah 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 blah. Since Musk took it over, I cannot imagine that I'm shadow banned. And if I'm shadow banned because I don't buy premium, then it's a corrupt platform. What everybody should leave, because they will be blackmailing you into premium, right? But you know what the biggest problem is this: when I go on X, there is nowhere you can complain that you got blocked, that your account got blocked. And you remember, I think they threw you off Twitter one time or something like that. I don't know what it was, but there you can complain. But if you're shadow banned, you don't find in the Twitter regulations anything where you can complain about it, where you can ask why I'm shadow banned. There's no possibility to find out why you're shadow banned. And to be honest, to sign on and spend $150 now a year for premium, and then I stay shadow banned, why I should do that, right? So I mean, that's it ridiculous in a way.
Do you know what I think you should do? I think you should create a new account, and I think we should try and get everybody to migrate over. The people who actually pay attention and engage and aren't just looking for, like, bragging rights, they'll come over. You might lose a couple hundred, followers, but who cares? You
Yeah,
know, I
have
I
only
think maybe you
700 followers. I think based on what I'm tweeting or whatever and all that shows within all the time, I should have way more followers on Twitter, but I don't get them as long as I'm shadow banned.
So yeah, start over, and I'll make sure to promote all the changes. And it's better to have less followers and not be shadow banned so they can see what you're writing, than
Yeah.
have more followers and have nobody be able to see what you're writing.
Look, the next subject matter. There were a lot of movements political where I think it's kind of going crazy. So the first one was the Korean president, who, I mean, Korea is, from my understanding, a free, rich, democratic country. And then that guy put like martial law up out of the blue and had to pull back like 8 hours later. And the thing what I didn't believe him from the beginning on was when he said the infiltration from North Korea made him do that.
I know.
Yes, and I felt like, how can North Korea, where you have nothing to eat, it's North Korea is not like China or Russia, right? North Korea is the shithole for everybody besides Kim Il Jong. Like, for everybody in North Korea, you live on the life standard of a guy in deep Africa, like you starve, and you have no videos, you have no TV, you have no magazines, no newspapers, no books, no social media. So now tell me how North Korea could infiltrate South Korea to turn into North Korea. I don't think anybody in South Korea would go for it. Nobody would go for it. Everyone would say, no, thank you. I'm a communist, but not this way. So why do you think he did that? Is he just a total, is the guy insane or what?
I think, I think you're right that it's bullshit and it's something, and you're going to say, oh, everyone's going to roll their eyes. But when I heard that, I immediately thought of Donald Trump because this is what I think is going to happen here. This is what I've been saying is the president makes up some bullshit excuse to uh, make martial law. And under martial law, you have no rights. Um, Social media and all that other shit, everything can be controlled. They can lock down whatever the fuck they want. People don't seem to realize that. This guy, internally, they have a two-party system. He probably wanted to mute the other side, the other party, because they had
That is what
soldiers,
you wanted. That is what you want, definitely.
yeah, to seize power. It was almost like a coup. And luckily, there were enough people around him that demanded his resignation that it actually worked. Whereas with Trump, he will be surrounded by yes men when this happens, and we will just go under martial law, and it will just happen, and we'll have no fucking nothing to say about it. The troops will come, and it
I
will
but
be
I
hell.
don't think it will happen. I don't think it will happen.
I think it will happen.
No, we
But
will
let's
see.
see.
If
Yeah.
I cannot reach you one time anymore because you're not in the internet, you're
Well,
not.
not here in Florida. I'm talking about New York, LA. Like all my life, I've lived in cities. This is probably one of the first time. I mean, that and Salt Lake City is still a city, but not really. But
Yeah.
like most of my life, I've lived in cities, and I empathize with them. I empathize with them because that's the place he's going to go. Those are the places he's like, those democratic slums, you know? And yeah, New York has problems. Look what fucking happened to that guy on 6th Avenue. I get it. But I
What?
still love New York. You know what I mean? I still love San Francisco. I still love these places. And they have hope. There's potential there. People are so negative as if like some kind of Republican version of that is the only way to go. What made San Francisco great was its liberal elements and that people could get along from all different, spectrums, not total conformity and total like um enveloping of one ideal only. That's not a free society. That's not the freedom that I enjoy about the United States and the multiculturalism about the United States. So but yeah, no. Sixth
But
Avenue. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
come back of the assassination thing. Uh,
Yeah.
that was uh, almost like a Soul on Wall Street, right? It was a CEO of an insurance kind of company, whatever, and it looks like it could be somebody who was very, very disappointed by that insurance company, like
Well,
somebody. Yeah,
there's words on the bullets. You read that, right?
yeah. But what were the words? I heard only there were words. But what was the?
What the fuck was the words? It was like deny. Um, it was like what you would say when you reject someone's insurance claim. So it's
Oh, okay.
somebody who's upset with him. I forgot what the words were. It was like deny, deflect, something. Um, Maybe you can look it up.
Shot and killed, and targeted by a mass suspect. Uh, Outside, three cryptic words were carved into bullets used to kill, and these were deny, depose, and defend. Deny, depose, and defend. It's definitely a kind of
It's
a
a
political statement why he shot.
yeah. Yeah, he definitely planned it. That bike going through Central Park. I bet you he's not even from New York. I bet you he flew into New York, did just this, planned it very carefully, his escape and everything. And Central Park has multiple ways out. He probably had a little kit of change of clothes that he had put there ahead of time. He probably really thought this out. And then he probably escaped from another exit. It's holiday season in New York where everybody is shopping. It's very chaotic. And then he's probably on a plane home right now. They're never going to fucking catch him.
No, but he has to depose the gun, right? That they never find the gun, because through the gun you could maybe track the gun. So he had to get rid of the gun somehow. But in Central Park is that huge water reservoir, right? So something like this, you have to just put it deep in a lake or something.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know how he would get rid of a gun or what it was. I know that they said it was a suppressor was used, and a suppressor is illegal in New York State. So he got the suppressor from out of state 100%. I personally believe he doesn't live in New York State. I just get a feeling.
Yeah, but that is totally possible. I mean, if that is my main enemy, then I better don't do it in the city I'm living in, you
Yeah.
know. So, and that would be interesting. Interesting
But
is, of course, also, yeah.
it's going to have an effect on Trump. It's going to have an effect on the way that people protect themselves. Trump's going to look at this because I look at it and I say, oh shit, you can't even walk down 6th Avenue in New York. And like, if this guy's not safe, nobody's fucking safe. Because this guy was the head of a fucking multi-billion-dollar corporation worldwide at the Hilton in New York on 6th Avenue. That's where rich people are. That's where you feel safe, and he thought he was safe. And it's like people like Trump will say that and say, "Oh my God, I need this huge security detail." I could see him never going out in public. I could see him always being around bulletproof glass. Like I could see a lot of crazy shit in the future.
But
If
so so nobody filmed that, even in New York. There's no camera stuff from
there
that.
is, there's video footage of him going down. Let me show it to you.
Okay.
Let me actually show it to you. I'm gonna
Yeah. And
find
then
it.
did that guy had bodyguards, or he just walked from a car to the lobby?
No,
Whatever.
he was walking, he was like, I think he walked outside to help them set up the event. The event was set for 8 a.m. and he was outside. I think he walked out the front entrance. The guy followed him or something. The guy was behind a car. I don't fucking remember. I don't know if he was in the Hilton or out of the Hilton, but in the footage, you see him walking out of the Hilton getting shot. Let me let me find it. So, Hilton.
Is it on YouTube or where is it?
I found it on X. Here it is. I'm
Yeah.
gonna send it to you right now. Copy.
To WhatsApp or what? Or here in the chat or where?
I'll send it to X. Let me just. Here we go. At Uwe Boll 7. There we go. Paste. Boom. Okay, check it out.
Is it under notifications? Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's no sound. And it's really short clip. There's probably more footage. There's a couple more pictures. Because it was cold in winter in New York, he got away with covering everything but his eyes. He's a white guy though.
not twice.
He shot him 2 times. The gun malfunctioned. Then he fucked with it. He shot a final shot. Um, so like yeah, he shot him in the calf
Yeah,
and in his back.
yeah,
And I don't know where the third shot went, but
yeah,
it's fucked up.
yeah. It is fucked up. And the guy was very calm doing this, right? It was didn't look like that the guy was losing his shit and had no clue what he was doing or whatever, you know.
And people say, "Oh, he's not a professional hitman." I just want to show people that this is the effects of what radicalization will do. On both sides, it's wrong, and the radical behavior will remove your ability to decipher what's right and what's wrong, and your emotions are detached from this. You become like a psychopath, sociopath, and I just don't think that's the way. I wish that people I wish that people would seek mental treatment because this is fucked up. It's wrong. It's not cool. This guy had a family. He was doing his job. Yeah, insurance companies are fucked up, but this is the world. This is the way it works. It's not his personal. It's not like he's like, hey, 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 your dad is dead. Ha ha. You know what I mean? Like give the guy a fucking break.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's bitter. No, when you see something like this, it's always like definitely a very bitter situation to have something like this. And so I downloaded the Ed Wood podcast. Let's see if it's even playing. Richard Bennett. Okay, so it's there. So I can definitely send that later over. What is also very concerning is, and I'm not okay with what Biden here is doing, he gets very military active, right? He's bombing with US jets in Syria, the Assad. So, and that's the thing we have a huge problem with. I know why he's doing it, because the Russians bombing on Assad's side, but we shouldn't forget who in Syria are the rebels. There are the ISIS and the Islamic State and so on. So it's the rebels in Syria against Assad are not the Social Democratic Party of Syria, or whatever, like, or the Green Party or the liberals. They are worse as Assad. And we didn't learn it from the Arab Spring, where every dictator got removed and replaced by crazy, like, Al Qaeda people, basically. So it's a completely insane. That's for me. That he gave the bombs to Ukraine to get them in a better position now for the hopefully settlement talks on the Ukraine war. But why they do this there? Why they do that again? I mean, you cannot bomb or help these rebels to turn over in Syria, Damascus. And Assad is a dictator 100%, and so was Gaddafi, and so was Saddam Hussein. But you always have to know who you support with this, like who you bring in that new position to rule. Then, I mean, Syria will fall completely apart. I mean, when you watch videos from Damascus, normally people in suits go I mean, Damascus has a very high-end lifestyle. It's not like you are in a third world dirt hole there. So all of this will get wiped out by ultra religious Islamic people. It's ridiculous what he's doing.
Hey, look at this. Look at this. Wait a second. Hold on. Ba-ba-bum. In the chat. It's loading. It's the face of the guy.
Also that's he's laughing.
Yeah.
Why he's laughing? It's a different photo from him at the bank, or what?
They found that he stayed at a hostel. New York City police, just as we were speaking, just announced at a press conference that they found out a place that he stayed. He stayed at a hostel in New York, and they got pictures of him without the mask on, so they know who to look for.
But he looks kind of Middle Eastern or Latin American.
I don't know. Let's see. He looks pretty white to me. He looks like a white guy. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't look. I mean, he's not black, but he looks like people like this could be Mexican. He could be like more this kind of like Syria, for example. To be honest, like this kind of countries, right? So yeah, let's see if they get him and what.
But as for Biden, so I don't think that it's going to. I don't know. Assad, don't they have nukes?
No, they don't.
No nukes, because they have a nuclear program. Isn't that what it is? Something like that?
No, that it's Iran. Iran is supporting Hezbollah and Hamas and whatever. But in Syria, what happened there was that years ago, there was that revolution where basically they tried to overturn Assad. That failed because the Russians helped Assad. Then, for example, Germany took 1 million refugees from Syria, 2016. That was that kind of time where, because Assad went then for retaliation down south where all the rebels were, and so they all ran away. And for example, Germany took 1 million Syrian refugees in, and then everything kind of calmed down. Nothing really happened, and now it's another uproar. And I think that smells for me like the classical CIA operation, because they know Putin then needs to help Assad. I think he gets money from him or whatever. And these forces will basically not be available for the Ukraine war anymore. So they want to keep Putin busy on two fronts, right?
Ah,
So,
I
you know,
see. Because
yeah.
they have they're already kind of limited. I get it.
Yeah. So for
Yeah.
Putin, it's very bad that this happens now. 2016, he had no war going on. For him, was easy peasy to help a little there. Now he's totally sinned out with his own military forces, right? It's not like Russia didn't suffer in the Ukraine war. There are hundreds of thousands of soldiers dead, and there are, at least they calculated it. They were, even in Russia, they created already far over 100 billion in cost of destroyed military machines like tanks, helicopters, airplanes, whatever, like 100 billion. So for Russia, 100 billion is like 1 trillion for the US. You
Yeah.
know,
And
so
and the ruble has fallen. The ruble
yeah,
is really going
for him,
down.
exactly, for him, it's a very hard hit financially, and so, and that doesn't include all the money he's paying, because he pays, for example, that North Korean guys, they get real money. They get like $2,000-3,000 a month that they're there. For them, it's a lottery jackpot, you know. So they in North Korea they make like $10 a month. So it's like. Or maybe Kim Il-jung pockets all the money, but he got also soldiers from other countries, and like in Yemen and so on. So he took some freedom fighters from there and stuff like this. And I think he pays a lot of money. And before he had to pay all that Wagner, the mercenary army from Wagner, they got like $5,000 a month per person for over a year. They are now basically dismantled or dissolved or whatever. I don't know where they are, or maybe they're all dead. I don't know. And yeah, but you know, it shows this very dirty international politics where they will make no statement to it. They will look like we are the good guys. We bombing now Assad. He was always a bad dictator, and in reality, it has totally different reasons why they do this now. And I think you cannot help uh, people who are more evil and Stone Age driven, basically, only to remove somebody who you despite because he's a friend from Russia. You know, it's just ridiculous, and I have a big problem with it. I mean, Ukraine now. They have a lot of people leaving the front lines. They deserting. They have big problems to fill the empty spots on the front lines. And I think there was another mistake from this was actually from the Trump team, but a lot of people now talking about it. This that they want to freeze the war where the front lines are, right? So that's the proposal from Trump's guy, and that's the proposal from now everybody. And Zelensky even said he could live with it, but if you do this, you say this now, and Trump is still has nothing to say right now before January 21st, then Putin, of course, will now go full on the attack. He will go full on the attack for a month to gain as much room as he can and say, look,
Yep.
that's order now. So here we draw the line. I'm good with this, right? So, and
Yeah,
that's,
it's gonna be super bloody, of course.
yeah, you know, and that's total bullshit. Uh, if you want to freeze the thing where it is, then you cannot release that information before you actually do it. So
Oh yeah.
that
No,
will
I
hurt
agree.
Ukraine. You know, that will hurt the Ukraine, and it's also that Zelensky said already he could live with this under conditions. Shows also kind of the total desperation from Zelensky now. I think he gets really desperate, you know, and I feel if Putin has the feeling January 20 that he will win that war, then he will not settle it anymore, no matter what Trump tells him.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. January 20 is just around the corner.
I know, I know. Now, yeah, so let's finish it up. I have another Zoom about a YouTube program channel So, and I have to try to make some money in between.
All
Okay,
right.
have a good one. Bye.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And Uwe, I will talk to you soon. Everybody, tune into us. Peace.
Yeah, bye.